unbeatable. We'll train until we meet our goal. The stakes are high, no, we won't fold, because we are unbeatable. We are unbeatable. We'll train until we meet our goal. If stakes are high, no, we won't fold, because we are unbeatable.
Welcome to the world of Pokemon, and thank you guys so much for joining us on today's episode of Unbeatable. As we begin today's episode, all three of our companions are currently seated, their asses in a cold fucking river, sitting on a makeshift raft from their sleeping pads and a couple of nearby trees that they had. Their ropes lashed around their three water-type Pokemon, and the psychic energy of one ghost-type currently kind of holding everything together. As you guys are going to begin traveling down Route 10's river, your goal, hopefully, being the power plant, your friend Perry, and maybe the legendary Pokemon Zapdos. So, as we begin today's episode, and you guys have just left your feet kick off the bank of the river, we're going to go ahead and we're going to be making some rolls. First things first, can everyone please make me an athletics check in the form of either fortitude or strength, please?
Oh, yeah, babe.
Guys, do I use
Oh, no, babe.
big D20 or regular size D20?
Oh, it's so big. It's so big. Save the regular ones for like important rolls.
That's not how I would do it. Guys, you screwed me.
That's fine. What do we get?
21.
21's fantastic. Okay, Matt, what do we get?
So my badge limit is 3, so
Yep.
4.
Oh.
So 4. Okay, interesting. And then DJ exploded.
I exploded twice.
Okay, what'd you get total?
25!
25.
Okay.
Dang, I rolled a D20.
Actually, wait, Kenna, this would, I think, count for your triathlete physicality. You can go ahead and roll me another D20 real quick and add that on top.
Why would you take that from him? Come on.
I'm happy!
It's okay, because I'm pretty sure you still win. I just rolled a 2. So 23.
Oh, yeah.
You still beat me by
23 versus 25.
I think the way DJ wins is she uses Coryne as a backpack. Corinne's her anchor.
So what this roll was for the integrity of your raft. As you guys push off, there is this moment where you can feel sort of like the shifting of the wood and the random sleeping bags and everything that you've used to hold everything up immediately start to get pulled in separate directions by the current, especially because like it's anchored onto your 3 different water types who all immediately begin to tug you towards the center of the current. And at that point in time, you can feel everything start to start to spread, and there's a moment, Coryne, where you like have to like reach out a heel and like wrap it around a log and just like pull it in with your hip and just like dig down on it so that it doesn't go. Exactly, except
but
instead of
DJ,
biceps, it's legs.
Except DJ's like holding on to one of the arms and is also like Captain America the other side.
DJ, there's another point in time where you like have that moment where, you know, like when you're on a personal flotation device in like a pool or whatever, and you can feel it start to slide out from under your ass. You have that moment where you have to like grip it with both hands and like rip it back underneath your fucking
Grip it with
butt.
the cheeks.
You gotta move it. And Seth, as you're trying to like hold everything together, you start to like look and you note that like the log area that you're sitting on is starting to drift, and there's a moment where you're like, you get your hand right on it, and then you feel it against a rock and just absolutely shatter away, and you feel it sort of like rip out from under your hand. You're gonna go ahead and take a minor wound as you just get cuts all on the inside of your hand. Yeah, I figured it was pretty on theme. No, you guys are gonna get hurt in this river. I told you this. So
bullshit.
As we begin to travel down the river, you are immediately hit by the sense of like echoing noise, because not only are you at night in a dark, rapid river that is moving, but you are in a canyon. So you're hearing the sounds of water rushing and moving and bouncing off all of the different canyons. You start to feel this like, and there's almost like this like sonic assault on your senses, especially in the dark where everything is a little bit more sensitive. And as you're sort of like getting pulled and everything, you can hear like the sounds of your Pokemon out in front of you. You hear the sounds of like Bowie and Poblano and Myrtle all out in front of you as they're starting to like kind of struggle in the waves. Can everyone please get me what they feel is the appropriate attack roll for their water type Pokemon? And I will do the same for Wilma's Magic.
May I ask a question?
Absolutely, you may.
I would like a quick check-in if I have like 2 things that might be helpful, but I want to check with the group. Do we think it would be helpful? I know we're trying to like be kind of sneaky, but not really. Do we think it would be helpful to have Smolder out for light and warmth? Or do we think it would be helpful to have Thornton out for some growth and vine grippies of the raft?
I would probably say no to Smolder because I think the minute Smolder gets wet, he's not going to have a good time anymore.
Okay.
Right? I think Thornton would be good. I thought we had Aleppo also with like vine stuff too.
Yeah,
so I
Aleppo
think the
can
more
be
the
out as
merrier.
well. Yeah.
So
Okay,
maybe the
I
grass
will
type.
warn you that everyone who's on the raft has a chance of not being on the raft at any point in time in the river.
Oh, so then maybe no.
You can. I'm just this like that'll help with the stability of the raft. I'm saying there's a give and a take. There is a positive and a minus as well.
We could also just let it rip. Worst case scenario, we
I
are concussed at the end of this and are quickly at the end of the river.
think we just let it rip. I think
Let it
us
rip?
as
Okay.
people need to be able to hold the raft together if our Pokemon are pulling us. I think that's
Okay.
the...
Okay.
Fair
But
enough.
I
So
do
give
think
me-
Smolder will be good for when we're on land again.
For when you get to land to try to
Pop
fuck
that
out
bitch
your-
out! Yeah!
Yeah.
It'd
Warm
be
us
like that
up.
scene in the first Spider-Man movie where like Iron Man turns on his like suit heater and it just goes like and like steams it all out. Yeah.
That'd be sick.
Okay, give me
Sick.
the appropriate attack rolls for your Pokemon, please.
10.
10 for Bowie,
16 for Myrtle.
14 for Poblano, and 16 for Myrtle. Okay, those are all pretty good. Wilma's Magic not really pulling her weight here with a pretty low roll. However, as you guys are like, a lot of the struggle with this, right, is that you as people can't see a lot of what's going on, right? There's a lot of like water. And like even in the darkness, it's still disorienting to be in a rapid, especially when you're not in a vehicle necessarily intended for that. So you're going up, but you're going down, you're pushing side to side. And as we said a second ago, you're barely holding on to sections of your raft. Seth, there's this moment where like you have to like engage your core because you can feel yourself lilting backwards to where that log used to be. And you have to like push yourself back up onto the raft. But out in front of you, you hear the sounds of your Pokemon moving. I have a question for each of you. If your Pokemon were to successfully blast their way through a series of rocks and brush that's tangling in the water, what would that look like for each of your Pokemon, even if you're not currently observing them doing it?
So Myrtle is probably swimming, and if Myrtle like sees, I imagine it's dark, so like seeing is kind of difficult. And as Myrtle approaches like probably a rock, is just going to tuck into the shell and then kind of like bubble blast behind her to give her some like force, and is gonna
Some
skull
power?
bash
Yeah.
through the rock, and is just gonna be like woof, like through that thing, and then it's
Yeah.
gonna like pop her head out and look around and be like, okay.
So the first one of these massive noises that you hear in front of you is the sound of just rock shattering and scattering out into the river as what would have been a boulder that you guys would have bounced off of is absolutely wrecked. Do we have something for Poblano or for Bowie?
Yeah, I think for Bowie, it'll be taking a note out of Richter's page and just kind of like Pac-Manning through whatever's there and just jogging
100%.
through tree branches and other foliage that would be
Waka, waka, waka,
blocking
waka.
the way.
Yeah, you hear the sound of almost like a chainsaw-esque wacka wacka as these fucking gator teeth start just chomping through like what is essentially an entire tree in the river that has been washed downstream. At some point, like Coryne, like you're trying to see and you just get hit with like a full branch in your face as it goes flying off to the background. Okay, and then Poblano, what is Poblano getting through all of the debris look like?
I think Poblano is mostly dodging shrapnel from the other two. In the way of like, have you ever like seen a movie where the main character is like chaotically succeeding, but they
Yes.
don't mean to be succeeding? So it's kind
100%.
of like that, where he's just like torpedoing left, torpedoing right, and like, you know, jumping out of the water and over top of it. Like he's just kind of like very chaotically being like, dodge. And he's just like
Going full
I don't know,
Mr. Bean.
spitting.
Got you.
Yeah, full
Okay.
Mr. Bean.
There we go. There we go.
Mr.
Okay,
Bean.
Full Mr. Bean.
so it's the thing where the other two are like, oh, brutalize a rock, destroy a tree. Sort of. Just full Looney Tunes. I can't believe that just happened.
Exactly.
Okay. And you guys see all these moments, and there are moments where like the debris starts coming back, and for the most part, parts of it manage to get like blocked by like psychic or ghost energy as Miss Magic is sort of like floating in synchronous with all of you. But there are moments where you get scattered. So as that happens, it's gonna go ahead and be DJ. You're gonna take a minor wound as like a large chunk of gravel just off your forehead.
Oh,
Ridiculous.
Yeah, you're gonna have a pretty big welt there.
Her goggles are on, by the way.
Yeah, that's why they're not protecting her forehead anymore.
Yeah.
They're protecting her eyes. Oh, that's the worst too, because when
She's
you get the
got a little
band
windshield
pressing
wiper
down and
stone.
it's going to be right next to the bruise, so it's like every time you shift your goggles.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, and you guys are continuing down. The next thing that you're going to run into, as you guys start going down, you hear. Actually, which of your Pokemon has the highest special attack die?
Myrtle has a D8.
D8,
I have a D8.
D8, and then was it the same for Bowie?
Yeah.
Okay, so all of your D8. So in synchronous, pretty close to the thing, you're going to hear all three of your Pokemon call out at the same time. You are like, it's that thing where like you don't understand the exact English, but you know your Pokemon well enough to get the urgency that they're giving you. It sounds like, based off the sound of the water, the sound of everything moving, there's going to be a split in the river soon as it goes around an island. You can't see a lot of what's in front of you. You have to take it on faith. They're asking, are we going left or right?
Oh, hell.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. If Seth makes a decision and yells first, right it is. Okay.
Yep.
Seth, you are able to, between splashes of water in your face and the cold down your back, you're able to shout out right. And at that moment, you feel all three of your Pokemon immediately tug on the parts of the raft. Can I get one more athletics check for the integrity of the raft, please?
Okay.
And this could be fortitude.
Oh, that's
And this can be
not a
fortitude,
great roll.
because this is not just about your strength of pulling it in, but your ability to iron clamp down and withstand the elements.
That's worse than last time.
Oh, I'm sorry, buddy. 11. Okay.
22.
Torie, what'd you get?
7.
7. Okay.
22, 25, 26.
26. Okay. So, with that, this time, after what happened last time, Seth, you are able to feel when one of the like sleeping pads near your leg is starting to slip out, and you are able to successfully like nail it down. You're able to grab it and push it. And I'm sure knowing you probably secure it in some way, because that's just the kind of person that Seth is. But like you fucking Coryne, you're just an iron rock. You're able to just take everything in, right? It is unfortunately, DJ, you lost your grip on that one sleeping pad earlier, and you feel it start to go again, and you start to push around the side of it. And it's that thing where it shoots up out your back behind you, and your whole ass just goes directly into the river, which would normally be very cold if it didn't immediately skip off a rock from underneath the water. You're going to take another minor wound.
Oh.
Yeah. So you now got a bruise on the head and a bruise on the ass.
Damn.
It's that thing where if this had been compounding into a major wound here, you probably would have broken your tailbone. It's fucking rough. And you guys can feel that moment in the river. As you guys turn right though, and you're beginning to like go down the river, you guys, I'm gonna tell you right now, there's no way you would know this. You made the correct choice. As you are going down the largely interrupted section of river and not the trope side of river, this is an automatic success on all of these rolls. You will not need to roll for this section of the river.
Oh my God.
It's a 50-50 shot, and Seth fucking nailed it. You guys continue down this section of the river, and at this point, the darkness of the river is beginning to subsist because there is an ambient sort of yellow glow that is sort of reflecting off the water and off the walls of the cave and off the clouds even above you. As you can't directly see it, but you know that massive yellow glow that you'd seen earlier with the power plant is approaching you. At this point, I would say it's like equivalent to the amount of light like right after sunset sort of thing. So it's not like you could read in this light, but you are beginning to be able to see and beginning to be able to navigate on your own. Can each of you please give me your best tracking, spot hidden, or geography check?
Oh, this is my time to shine.
Okay,
It is your time to shine.
I was trying to find an intelligence roll.
I got a 10.
19.
Okay, so Mrs. Time to Shine got a 19, Coryne got a 10. Seth, what was yours? Okay, then I'm going to go from lowest to highest, and you're going to tell me where your priorities lie in gathering information right now with your eyes. Coryne, with a 10, where are your priorities at? What are you, as soon as you have light, what are you looking for?
I feel like Coryne is very much absorbed in the moment of the danger and knowing that the river is probably causing some hurt to her Pokemon and the rest of her friends. So I am focusing on the geography and seeing if there's any immediate danger in the river, on the shores, in the sky, kind of doing like a 360 clocking of the surrounding area.
Because you only managed to roll a 10 here, which is still good, but it's not, the best that you could have rolled here. With a 10, you are able to look forward to the river in front of you, and you are able to quickly spot that there are several rocks coming up. What I'm going to do is, because that is what you've chosen, each of you and your companions will have an advantage on the next roll for that.
Okay, great.
Okay. With the 17, Seth, where were your immediate sort of priorities upon getting light and being able to see?
I think looking further towards that yellow light shining kind of in the distance, like where it's coming from, the source.
Okay.
And if I can kind of track any signs of like either like walking paths or any type of like man-made structure.
Okay, like a way to get there from the river sort of thing?
Kind of. If it's kind of like where if you see where light's coming from further, if we're up the river, we can see like, oh, there's like a crossing bridge that goes over the river, or
Good
like a tree that fell or something like that.
Okay.
Just to kind of see how other people would have gotten to it had they gone the rocky way.
Okay. That's actually totally doable. So as you are starting to come toward the river, because again, you can see this like big glow of ambient yellow light in the sky, but you like still can't quite see the power plant. But as you're looking at it, you do see that there are multiple hiking trails along the outside of the canyon. And you glance them in the light, and it's sort of like, maybe they took that way. But because you were the person who was trying to look for like sort of like man-made structures and everything, you are actually going to be the first one to note that there's actually a shape in the sky in that ambient sort of glow. As you can see, this like sort of familiar curling draconic flying shape in the sky above the glow. And you can see several other small floating shapes. Looks like whoever got here probably either flew here or walked through a tunnel exit that you're aware of. It seems like there's not a whole lot of like by land routes to get there, but that familiar draconic form, that's definitely Perry and Gyarados.
Does it seem like they're fighting someone?
It definitely looks like they're in combat with the other two forms that are in the sky.
Oh, shit.
Got it.
Okay. With that, DJ, with a 19, where were your priorities?
I think making sure we're not going to hit anything on the sides, making sure that we can find a safe spot to dock.
Okay.
If we're getting, closer and closer, finding a safe spot for us to pull off and make sure the raft is going to actually be there when we come back. If we
Okay. I'm going to say combine with sort of Seth and Coryne, because there are bits of yours that touch on both of theirs. So as Seth and Coryne are starting to like point out the things, like they're like, it's that instant like, oh, rocks ahead. Oh, there's a Gyarados, all those things. As Seth is sort of like mentioning that he's like looking for like landmarks and things like that, and Coryne is looking ahead of you, you look a little bit further than Coryne and a little bit closer than Seth. At this moment, as you realize that past the rocks, there's a stretch of empty water, and then there's a low rumbling noise, and the river just kind of disappears. However,
Waterfall.
Before then, at the angle that Seth is pointing out, where where the people fighting in the sky are, between those things, you're able to see a slight beach that looks like that maybe leads to somewhere. It's at least not going to be at the waterfall.
Sharp rocks at the bottom. Bring it on.
Bring it on. I'm going to start calling out to the Pokemon pulling us. Oh, pull off to the left, pull off to the left. Don't keep going. There's a waterfall. Do not take us down the waterfall. I don't want to be one of those guys in a barrel that falls down the waterfall into sharp rocks. I'm just not going to. And she's just going. She's just going. And she's just like, pull off, pull off, pull off, pull off. Like, she's backseat driving these Pokemon to get them to pull off.
You know what's hilarious about you yelling pull off is that's not what the next step is, because Coryne is still going, Coryne, what are you still pointing out that's before that?
I feel like Coryne is doing kind of like quick gamer call-outs where it's just like, rocks ahead, bash, bash, bash. And it's just like repeating the same word over and over, trying to get them
Rocks
to like
me,
make
rocks
sure
on
we're
me.
avoiding these rocks. Rocks on me, need help.
Bowie on your flank.
And Seth, as you have these two fucking shouting people next to you, you're the only one able to keep your eyes on like the final destination of where you're trying to head. So I'm going to keep that in mind for later. I'm going to say, Seth, you're not going to need to make a tracking check if you guys manage to get to the beach. Does that make sense?
Cool.
Okay. So, if is a big word.
Good.
We got to see if
If
you
is
don't get
good.
pulled downstream. So first things first, I need each of you to roll for your Pokemon with the rocks. Because of what Coryne did, you will all have an advantage on these rolls. It's the same rolls we made earlier. Go ahead and do one more. This is going to be a little bit more difficult than the last one because it's a lot more vicious up here. But you do have an advantage, so it should even out.
I exploded on the advantage.
Matt's quiet little...
Even out's a strong assumption.
Seth, I love the idea of you just being like, oh, fuck, there's a thing. And then there's these two shouting motherfuckers on either side of you.
Seth's definitely in that mindset of like, I'm not going to add more to their plate. They seem busy.
They seem busy.
Calm
Can you
thinking
imagine
from
that
you.
piece of art? You all going over a waterfall, you two freaking out, and Seth's just going, yeah, everybody seemed kind of busy. Okay, what were our rolls?
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20, okay, for Poblano.
7.
7 for Bowie, okay.
Myrtle got a 14. Her rank was really putting in some work.
14. Okay, for the two of you, what does it successfully look like as Myrtle and Poblano successfully get through these rocks? And Seth, what does it look like for you, for Bowie to accidentally injure himself trying to break a rock that's a little too big?
I'll let them go first.
Okay, okay.
I feel like Myrtle just does that thing again where it's just a straight up shrinking into the shell, doing a little bubble jet, and woof, going right through that thing.
Okay, absolutely. And then Poblano, is Poblano still freaking out, or are they getting the hang of it?
No, I think he's getting the hang of it. I think he's gonna like see Myrtle and Bowie doing their thing, and instead of like becoming a torpedo to get out of the way, he's gonna become a torpedo, kind of like a drill, and shoot through a small rock, a very small rock, but still a rock.
Okay.
And then kind of like shake himself off on the other side, and then start dodging and weaving again.
Start dodging.
Because that's
Gets
not
a
his
thumbs up
strong
from
suit.
Myrtle.
Nice. And then Seth, what does Bowie look like in this moment?
I think Bowie was cheering Poblano on and kind of like helping them just get more comfortable doing the stuff in the water. And then once they do that drill through the rock, he's like, "Crocodile," and then just hits a rock. And then gets dragged over the rock because the other two are still going forward. So it's like, oh. And then he's like, yeah. And he does that thing underwater where he's like looking to be like, I don't think anyone saw that.
Nobody saw that. Nobody saw that.
We're okay.
I think only Seth saw that of the three trainers as well. It's not gonna bring it up.
It's okay.
He is gonna take one minor wound just because that did happen. Okay, but because 2 out of 3 of you made it through, I'm not gonna impose a disadvantage on the check to try and get out of the river before the waterfall takes you down current. So I'm not gonna impose a disadvantage, but I'm gonna need each of your Pokemon to make me a HP or speed roll. If you would like to do anything cool to attempt to increase your abilities and get an advantage, you could tell me that.
Yeah. I would like to shout to the water trio, guys, hit it big to the left so that we don't go into the waterfall, and try and get them to use their water. Is it water pulse? Hydro pump and aqua jet,
So
respectively.
there are 3 water moves.
just to
Interesting.
jolt us to the side.
Are the other 2 trainers consenting to this plan?
Yeah, I feel like we're about to
Okay.
like hit a big drift and like fucking.
Well, I think it's the rocks. This is
Tokyo
happening.
drift.
Waterfall. I'm just like, guys, just left.
Just hit it.
If
Just
we
hit
could-
it.
Blast it to the left.
Okay. With that plan, real quick, can we please, before we get those rolls then, because I have another roll to make for the trainer, so I apologize. Hold on to those rolls that you've just done for your Pokemon, because you might be
rolling.
adding or subtracting to something for that.
Okay.
Can we please, from each of the trainers, get a charm roll, please?
Can I use Poke handling?
I'd allow it. I love Poke handling here. If you guys got ranks in Poke handling, go
Oh,
for it.
fuck yeah. Okay.
But it is a charm-based Poke handling roll.
That's the point.
Ow.
Nice. Suck,
Okay,
Torie.
Aaron.
Well,
Aaron
what
doesn't
is
want
that
Torie to
for
be
me?
happy
Oh,
for
a
it.
D8.
Torie built a character. I let Torie play the characters to the best that she builds and to the worst that she builds.
11.
11? That's pretty good.
12.
10?
I was going to put 10 as the difficulty, so add whatever your roll is for your Pokemon. Go ahead and add 3 to that. One for each of the Pokemon that succeeded.
Are we doing a attack roll?
No, this was HP or speed.
That was HP.
Oh, HP or
yeah.
speed. Okay, got it.
Yeah. So whatever your base roll would have been, add an additional 3 to that. Okay, so what was our final rolls? And then tell me if it was HP or speed.
HP, I got a 12.
I rolled speed. I rolled a 17.
HP 18.
Yo, y'all are fucking tearing it down. So actually then, as this goes, I think that the way that this works is as the trio start to move, I think they all push their water type moves out, and I'll let you guys describe that in just a second. As they do that, I think it's going to be Poblano who digs down the least but gets the most amount of upward speed and gets that initial jolt, and then it's going to be Myrtle and Bowie who are able to really dig into the water and use that initial boost to start pulling you guys towards the beach. So real quick, what does it look like as your guys' 3 moves go off?
So I think Poblano is gonna face the raft because he's confused with all the noise. He turns around to look at us and sees Seth just go left. And he's gonna go, okay, and spit his Aqua Jet out his front, forgetting he's backwards, and yoink himself kind of into the air and start pulling himself. Yeah, he doesn't have the water resistance anymore because just yoinked into the air, and it's gonna be like the little robot that screams when it gets launched. It's like, yeah. So he's gonna yoink himself into the air and try and really pull the raft without that water resistance.
Okay, 100%. And then the other 2.
I think Bowie would dip under the raft and go towards the right side of the raft and push. Kind of still going forward with the river, but kind of like a 45-degree angle, so that we're still using the momentum of the river taking us down, but are slowly listing to the left to then just kind of beach. Naturally.
This Pokemon's job is beach.
Beach.
Yeah. 100%.
A lot of people think it's lifeguard. It is not lifeguard.
It's not lifeguard. It's beach. Coryne, and then with Myrtle, what is Myrtle looking like?
Sure. I feel like Myrtle is gonna see that Bowie is taking the back kind of corner of the raft and doing kind of direction control, and Myrtle's gonna slide to the right side front and is going to kind of open and close her mouth to control the water pulse.
That's
to
sick.
Kind of just get the direction and really make sure that we're
Zero in.
Hitting, yeah, zeroing in on the angle that we're hitting the beach. And also, if any of the trainers are shouting slow down, kind of helping push against the river as much as we can.
Now, you might think we're all home free. However, there is one last check we have to do before you can get out of the river. Because as you guys are suddenly changing direction and moving, you are going to feel one more integrity check starting to come up on this raft. As you can feel the branches start to pull and shift and everything starts to move and crack, and and as you guys look down, I will note that you already have 2 failures on the integrity of this raft. If any of you fail, this raft is going to collapse before you get to the beach. So, can we once again get a fortitude or an athletics check, either fortitude or strength, please, as we try to hold this raft together?
Am I still able to use my athletic ability?
You are, absolutely. This is triathlete physicality. This is what this is for.
10.
10 from Seth.
11.
11 from DJ. What'd Coryne get?
32.
Close enough.
God!
She's rolling 2 d20s, DJ. She's rolling 2 d20s. This is what happens when Birdie rolls turn order or whatever. It's just what happens. So
this
there
is the epitome of hurry up and wait, because then he'll just go really quickly. And it's all right.
I gotta wait. Okay. Then there's this moment where you have Poblano skipping off the top of the water like a fucking errant thruster, going off in a direction. There's a moment where Myrtle is going and starting to boat engine her way around the side. You've got freaking Bowie Croconaw shoulder up, starting to push forward with everything he's got as well. And you feel the raft start to vibrate and shake, and you can feel bits of it start to fall apart. You see a chunk of wood go down the river, and that's that thing where you see it go, and the current is fast enough, and you are close enough to the waterfall to where you see it go disappear. And it's a thing where you see a bedroll disappear. You see another chunk of wood.
Well, whose was that?
And then it's that last moment. Oh, we've lost 2 bedrolls at this point.
Oh, fuck.
And there is a moment where you feel it start to like disappear, and you could feel like, oh, there's that section, Coryne, where you had your legs locked around 2 parts of the raft, and it starts to spread, and you could feel that stretch happening on your tendons. You're like, and then you feel that moment where the raft starts to push back together as each of you manage to grab a different part of the raft. And we had one other person that was rolling that is relevant here, as you can see bits of psychic and ghost energy
Magic.
as you hear and push the raft back together, and you are successfully able to beach your raft and not get taken down the waterfall.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
At this point, you are able to gather your breath for a moment, look over your wounds, recall your Pokemon if you'd like, change out your Pokemon teams, but in the distance, you do still hear a heavy electric thrum, and you do still see flashes of light above the large yellow glow in the distance. You have a moment to catch your breath, but there is still urgency in the air.
Coryne looks at Seth and is like, I am regretting a little bit taking the river.
Oh, it's fine. I'll let out. I'm gonna let out Anchor, and then just be like, "Group hug, buddy." Just pass him around to everybody like a trophy. I can just absorb all the water.
Yeah. Honestly, he does the thing where you pass it to like the first person, and then like his little tentacles just grow and touch everyone, and just. And it's at that moment that you hear. Oh, hey guys. Sounds like you ran into some difficulties down there from what I was seeing, but Little Miss Magic was able to keep you together, right?
Thank God.
Yeah. How was your flight?
Oh, it was lovely. It was lovely.
Okay,
That's
so
good. We should go.
Here's your Pokemon, by the way. And he just sort of like hands the satchel with Mimikyu in it back to DJ.
And DJ just holds her hands out, lets it hop into her hands if he wants, puts him on the ground. I hated that.
Well,
I got a bruise on my head and a bruise on my rump.
Oh, you do? Doesn't correct me if I'm wrong. Does DJ wear shorts? I forget. Or is it pants?
No, DJ wears pants.
Then invisible to the rest of everyone else, but you can feel it. There's like probably like this sized wine-colored bruise on your ass forming right now.
Love
Sitting
that.
is going to be a rough
Love
for a while.
Love it.
Anyone looking at DJ can see the fucking just like heart-shaped bruise on her forehead. Seth, you actually look down and your hand is wet again, and you realize, oh, it's because I'm still bleeding out of my palm.
Coryne hits like a quick little triage mode and pulls out a first aid kit and is like wrapping, takes some alcohol,
Here you go,
rubs it on the
Band-Aid.
bruise, puts a little Band-Aid. And is like,
good,
okay.
You're cleaning out my bruise. Thank you.
Oh, sick! It's a Chansey Band-Aid. Limited edition.
Limited edition.
Okay, as Coryne is doing quick little first aid, okay, so how do we get to Perry? Does anybody see Perry? How do we get to the plant?
I'm just pointing to the floating dragon.
With your other hand as I'm wrapping the other one? Okay.
Yeah.
Not only that, Seth, but with DJ having pointed out the beach and your like thing about the trails specifically, while you guys have been catching your breath, your eyes have been able to follow like the side of the hill and find a pretty good path. Like I said earlier, you're not going to require a tracking check. You just auto succeed this. So you can see a pretty decent path up the sort of like rocky beach, up the side of the wall, through a tiny bit of a canyon where it looks like it's going to be
Is it
brighter.
Rocky Beach or just Rock Beach?
It's a rocky beach with a Y.
Okay, I didn't know if the sign.
Yeah, but it's not a proper noun, so it's like lowercase rocky
Just
beach.
checking. But it's always
Yeah.
been Rocky Beach.
But it's always been a rocky beach. It's never been a rock beach.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. This way.
You're a rock beach. All right.
Tanner's going to go ahead and return Specs because Specs is a little too large to be walking with you guys. And I think the vibe is you all want to be traveling together and not get caught alone right now, I think is the vibe.
I reckon it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah,
Okay.
that'd be a good vibe.
I think I'm going to bring back Bowie and Anchor, and I'll bring out Richter to kind of lead our little walkie walk and jaunt through the forest.
So Coryne is going to pat Myrtle on the head and give her a little dap up and be like, "Great job, babe." Whew. And is going to put Myrtle on her shoulders, and then is also going to take out Hypno.
Interesting. Okay. Newton comes out.
Yeah, and is going to hold Newton's hand and is just going to be like, hey, we're about to walk through these woods. If you feel anybody teleporting or coming, could you squeeze my hand and let me know?
Hypno immediately puts out a hand and starts squeezing your hand multiple times.
Okay, great. Thanks, buddy.
Hypno. And you see there's like a rhythmic move to Newton's finger, but it's very short distances. And you realize Newton's probably trying to tell you that people are doing a lot of short-term teleporting ahead of you, not people long-distance teleporting in. There's probably some sort of psychic user who's doing a lot of teleporting in whatever is going on up at the power plant.
Oh.
Interesting. I say that to the group as we're walking.
Well, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
Well, they're not coming to us, so we're coming to them. So maybe
right.
if we need any other precursors for Newton alerting other people, we could be a bit more specific and see if they're wanting to hurt us when they teleport. I don't really know how that works, to be honest. So
I know now's not necessarily the time to mention it, but I do think in the future, I'm pretty sure Hypno can learn teleport themselves. So like, maybe we figure that out at some point.
I look down at Newton and I'm just like, okay.
All right then. So I hate to be this guy, but what actually is the plan? We're not going to go like fight whoever's up here, right?
Well, I think Perry's currently doing that.
That's true.
And Perry's kind of like part of our posse.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure you would jump in to fight if we were being aggressed by anybody. So
my less like fight. My goal is, are we going to get Perry and get safely out? Or is the goal, we're going to go try and mess him up till we're the absolute victors sort of thing?
I don't know that we've told you this, Tanner, but there might be...
Yeah, there's a lot you haven't mentioned is all I'm going to say.
Right, and I'm going to tell you this now. There might be a legendary that needs help.
And then you see him slowly like pause, like look at the big yellow light in the sky. Look at you guys. Look at the light at the sky, and then start doing like a weird, like almost like pecking motion that those of you who are native to Kanto realize he immediately realizes what legendary Pokemon you're talking about. And there is this sort of like superstition to a lot of legends to where you can immediately see this sort of like hand motion of like what almost looks like a bird pecking symbol in his forehead of like for the 3 legendary birds. And you can see he goes, ha, and you can just see like hyperventilating immediately.
It's okay. Don't worry. Have you heard of Moltres?
Our Lord and Savior.
You know, that's tell that joke to me and probably tomorrow and I'll laugh at it.
Okay, because it's not that one.
Yeah, no, I figured.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to go in and we're going to go and try and help a legendary Pokemon against whoever has the balls to try and fuck up a legendary Pokemon, because it'll be the second one to get captured in the last like 3 weeks if we don't. Okay. Well.
Tanner, you don't have to
and
do
you said the range? No, I'm going in. No problem about that. But you said the Rangers were on their way, right?
Yes, my friend Poppy called
Yeah.
them and gave them the location that we're going to be
All
at.
right. That means we just got to hold out for the Rangers. And you can see like Calm should like take over and his shoulders straighten. And you can see Lumis Magic like apparate behind him. And he goes, all right then, if we're just holding out for Rangers, I can mess up some criminals. Let's go.
You know
Tone
what?
change.
You would
like it.
Yeah,
Let's go.
you can see
you
he's like
adjusted super quickly.
compartmentalized. He compartmentalized his fear so good because ghost trainers have to. They have to be able to take whatever fear they're holding and put it away because that's what ghost trainers do.
Oh.
So you can see that this is very much like he has compartmentalized. He is holding it, and
We will unpack it
Aaron,
later.
will be making checks for him as we go on
Oh, no.
to see how this goes.
Good.
As we continue forward, we are going to be going through a relatively narrow canyon. Can I get a marching order in terms of the trainers, the Pokemon less so?
I'd be up front with Richter.
Okay. Seth up front. Who's taking second?
I'll probably be somewhere in the middle.
Okay. And then Coryne, is it you or Tanner in the back?
I think it'll be... I do think Coryne would like to be right behind Seth just in case anything happens. So Tanner can take it
Okay.
back.
Okay, Tanner will be in the back. This is good because only the person in the front is going to be making stealth checks. So, as we begin to move up the canyon, Seth, will you please make me a stealth check?
What's the ground like?
The ground is very rocky, very unstable. There's that bit where you have to kind of test every step because this is not a normally walked path. Mm-hmm. This is like sedimentary rock that has been allowed to crumble and bake in the sun.
Okay. And I'm doing a stealth check with myself, or
with
am I
you.
Also doing it with Richter?
No, you are the person making the stealth check at the moment.
Great.
All eyes are on you. And depending on how low this roll is, all eyes might be on you.
Okay, well, you don't have to say it like that. That's going to be a 12.
Oh, 12 is so good. Okay, no, 12 is fantastic. Okay, especially with what's going on. As you guys start to like walk up the rocky beach.
I don't know what's going on. Please inform me.
That's what I'm about to tell you. That's what I'm about to tell you. That's what I'm about to tell you. You start to walk up this rocky beach and you get to this canyon and you can see like the light is starting to glow like more and more from in there. And you start to walk up and step up forward. And as you get to this like very narrow ravine, it's that thing where you kind of have to turn and push and you start to get that thing where Seth, if this was a little bit closer and the stakes were a little bit less, we would probably be making some rolls on Seth's claustrophobia. But you start to like push up and forward and there's that moment where you can see the glow and you're starting to get near the end of the ravine and your eyes aren't quite adjusting because you realize the glow is fucking bright to be projecting that much light into the sky from inside of a canyon. And you push up and you eventually get to the point where you can blink and sort of see what's going on in front of you. And it's both kind of exactly what you expected and also not. In that, as you get up, you do see this massive metal warehouse-esque building with like these broken chain link fences. It's rusted and broken in a lot of places, but every light and coil and wire on the building is glowing with yellow and blue light that is like sparking and arcing and moving. And you can see that the entire building almost has like a charge to it. Even the metal panels on the outside have like a decent amount of glow to them. And it's this hugely brilliant light. It's this thing where like you would struggle to be this hit by lights in the center of a city in like a city square. It's so bright that it's illuminating the fields around it like they were sunlight. And because of that illumination, you can see that there are maybe like 3 or 4 people with probably 15 Pokemon among them fighting what looks to be closer to 40 or 50 wild Pokemon at this point in time. As you can see individuals, you can see someone with a large Graveler that is like barreling through what looks like a herd of some sort of Pikachu. You look and you can see that there is somebody with what looks like a Kangaskhan that is like forcing Pokemon to the side as like 3 Magnemite begin to circle and start to spark at it. It is clear that there is a huge disparity in the skill of the trained Pokemon versus the wild Pokemon, and it's a pretty even fight at the moment. And that is sort of filling this space in between this like probably like 2 acres of field between you and the power plant. High in the sky, you can see that there are another 2 people that are floating in the air. One of them on the back of what looks like maybe a Fearow or a Pidgeot. It's hard to tell from this distance. One on the back of what looks like some sort of flying metal Pokemon, maybe a Scizor. You can't tell the color really, but it's bigger. And then you of course can see Perry in the sky on the back of Gyarados. Can I really quickly get we'll start with Seth, and if Seth doesn't get it, I'll allow us to go down the line and make other rolls. Seth, can you make me a human history check, please?
I reckon I can.
Okay.
It's thundering outside, and it's definitely adding to the ambiance.
that's the ambiance of what's going on here.
Sick.
If you have any bonuses in like any of the history stuff, go for that. Add those bonuses. I'm just trying to get a fact for you to recall.
That is 17.
17 is pretty good. Okay. Seth, one of the things that you've been kind of aware of is you've been sort of like a calmer background observer for a lot of the crazy shit that's been going on for the last like couple days. One of the things that you will note is that you see 5 current people that are around and sort of fighting. You know that there were at least 6 people headed here. You do not see a 6th. You do not know where they are. Because you see 3 on the ground and 2 in the sky fighting Perry. Wherever the 6th camper is, you do not see them. And that is an important piece of information for you to have that I'm giving you right now. But
Gotcha.
this is the situation as you all begin to ferry out of the canyon and into the field. You did not draw any attention to yourself, so we did not have to worry about fighting while you were in the canyon, which is very good because I can now close another page that I had open.
What do you
and and as you guys begin to step out, this is the situation that you're seeing. Do we have a conversation or plan that is going to happen at this moment?
So I think if we were to approach the field with all the people fighting, Aaron, would it be possible to fight the trainers to help like protect the wild Pokemon without them thinking we are of the same ilk and are also trainers that want to hurt them because we don't want
Can you give me a Pokemon handling check, please?
Nah. All right.
Okay.
Let's see.
Never mind.
We'll do intelligence.
Intelligence.
That's going to be a what is that? 17. Oh no, 18. Sorry.
18. Looking at the Pokemon, it looks like as you see them sort of like you see like Pikachu like Raichu jumping over, they're all like beginning to spark with energy and attack these other Pokemon. You see that there's like an anger and a ferociousness in them that you've seen only once before, and it was seeing the wild Pokemon on Seafoam when Articuno was being attacked. You do recall afterwards there being moments of if people joined them in attacking whoever the like would-be attackers were, it seemed like they could momentarily team up. It does seem like these Pokemon are relatively emotionally unstable, so it's going to be more on a case-by-case basis on how much you can actually prove yourself to be an ally of the wild Pokemon. So there is a chance, but there's also a danger.
So
Gotcha.
you're telling me there's a chance.
So
There is a chance.
a thought I'm thinking is if we try to push through this group and get into the power plant and ward off whatever is aggressing Zapdos, that can kind of like take out the boss situation, calm down the minions, banana, and see if that maybe works. But then again, I don't know. And I feel more confident having a one-off or two-off situation talking to random wild Pokemon on our way to Zapdos than trying to quell a field full of Pokemon.
A field of 50 ferocious fighting electric types.
Good alliteration. But yes, the point still stands.
Yeah.
I think something else we need to know that ties directly into this decision. Do we see Diane?
Oh, so you're asking about the people you saw earlier. Can you roll me an intelligence check, please?
You know I.
It's a damn good thing
also-
you asked that question.
Yeah, for real. 23.
23. You do not see the person known as Diane who you met with the pink hair who was really nice.
The artist formerly known
the
as
artist formerly known as Diane. One of the things I did point out to Seth, and Seth has mentioned at this point, is that there were at least 6 of the people going on that expedition. However, 2 of them you do not see present. The original 2, the guy who was wearing the hood,
Yeah, that's
and
what I
Diane.
wanted to know next.
So
was
there
the
are
guy she was
5,
with.
it looks like, others, and you recognize a couple of them from having seen them from across the way. This is unmistakably that group, but the 2 original do not seem to be there, which now puts their number at 7.
7.
3 on the
Ooh.
ground, 2 in the sky,
And then 2 missing.
and
Then
then 2
2
and then
missing.
2 missing.
Yeah.
Okay. So my guess is they are in the power plant, the 2 of them,
Mayhaps.
which makes me want to go follow Seth's plan.
Okay, and then Coryne.
2 questions.
Yep.
Well, a question and an action.
Okay.
The people because Corinne's eyes are solidly on the field, just like taking all this in, like, what the fuck?
Yeah, you see
How-
right as a moment as the Graveler takes 2 fists and fucking slams 2 Magnemite out of the sky, and it's a little satisfying.
Well,
I'm happy.
It's Magnemite.
Well, that sounds
Corinne's
like
more
an
worried
answer.
about the Pikachu and Raichu. So you said that this was like a kind of a balanced fight, but there's 3 people on the ground. So what? How many people were there? Like, how many Pokemon
So
are
there
fighting
are
versus the
3
wild?
people on the ground surrounded by 15 Pokemon that they have trained, and then there are about 50 wild Pokemon.
All right, guys, get in the comments. Do your trainer math. What rank are these trainers if they each have 5 Pokemon? If you guessed 8, oh shit.
Oh shit is right. Okay.
Now, I will remind you that the trainer's individual ability does not necessarily always reflect in the rank of their Pokemon. But as you see a Kangaskhan pick up an Electivire and begin to slam it into the ground, maybe it does. Maybe it does. Maybe it does.
I will break you.
Okay. I'm gonna as Corinne's eyes are just fucking huge. Corinne's gonna kind of lean down to Newton and be like, "Okay, buddy. That short teleporty person. Can you point out to me where you feel them?"
As you see Newton's actually kind of like it looks like almost like a little overstimmed from everything that's happening right now, from like the light and the Pokemon, and you're realizing this is a lot of very emotional consciousnesses that are in front of him.
Can I like take his head and like turn him away from it and kind of like try to like encapsulate at least his physical vision like right here?
Give me a Poke handling check.
Okay, I rolled a 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And I pet him I pet him a little bit and I go, "I'm sorry, buddy. I know it's loud."
With that, as you kind of like pull in, and you can see him kind of struggling, his little furry face with his giant fucking like nose, and he's sitting there and he's kind of like, and honestly, Hypno has never been a particularly cute Pokemon to you, but in this moment, as he's kind of struggling, it kind of reminds you of just like an overstimmed cat, where Hypno's just kind of like, and Newton's kind of struggling, and you can see the ears kind of like coming in, and the metronome of the ring itself sort of like flickers for a second, and then he kind of pushes back in, and Hypno will point clear across the way to the power plant. Whatever is teleporting is within the power plant itself.
Okay, buddy. Good job. And I'm actually gonna put Newton back in his ball.
That sounds like a good idea. Until at least you get away from the actual battle, that's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
I have a feeling all roads lead to power plant. Rakoto, the Mimikyu, has not yet been okay with being in a Pokeball.
Correct.
In this scenario where he sees everything happening, DJ's gonna kneel down and I think for clarity's sake, by the beach, she would have returned Poblano, brought out Tabasco as like our scary dog privilege, and left Rakoto to follow, and she would be keeping an eye on him. She's gonna kneel down and just say, "Hey, I know you're not super comfortable in the ball. If you want it for right now, just to get out of this mess, that's fine." No, okay, that's okay. I'm gonna need you to hide then. Can I help put you somewhere to hide?
Disappears into your bag like a fucking shadow in the night.
Oh my god.
You know, I did now just think of a new way we could take out this entire field.
you just start showing up.
Oh my god.
You just commit murder.
Oh my god.
You walk up, tap him on the shoulder. "Hey, have you seen Ted?"
Hey, check this out. I think because too also
That's horrifying.
technically
so
he's a little dead. So ghosts
a little dead.
There's not much to necessarily fear in this mortal world that we're in,
Holy
except for
shit.
a mirror
Or the destruction of his costume.
Yeah, but
That's
like
so funny.
I feel like that
Oh
thing
my
has some pretty good
God.
insulation. It'll be fine.
Yeah. It's made
Okay.
of fucking sewn together cloth, dude. It's not
Insulated,
very
sewn together cloth.
Literally, the ability is the breaking of the disguise. That's Mimikyu's ability, is it gets broketed.
But yeah, I think moving through the group is definitely the best plan. I want to turn to Tanner and kind of vibe check him. How is he looking now that he's seen this Mewtwo Strikes Back brother war?
Brother, my brother. No, yeah, no. Tanner is like, you guys helped flip the switch in Tanner's brain from the kid who grew up in Kanto hearing about the legendary birds as like a superstition, to the like, oh yeah, no, I have a task. I am task oriented. I have pocketed my fear at the moment. He seems all right. He seems like he's doing okay, especially with the fucking 5-foot-tall ghost hanging over his shoulder. Yeah, so he seems good.
Yo, she's not 5.
Tanner.
I forget some big Pokemon.
Yeah. Well, most of it's the hat, but you know.
Okay. Tanner, do you think that you might be able to give Perry some aerial support while she's fighting whatever's up there?
Yeah, I think I can probably do that. I will caution. I am on a normal flying type when I'm up there, and that do be an electric type. But I can make it work because she's on a water flying, so she's doing better. You kind of go like, he goes to throw out his Pokemon. He goes, maybe I should give it a minute before I hop up there, though, because if I release this Pokeball, it was probably going to draw some attention.
That's fair too. I think, and I'm assuming he's heard our entire plan of what we're trying to do, sneaking past stuff. With getting that through, do you want to maybe wait until we get past the field, or?
No, I'll track back a little bit through the canyon and just pop up on the other side of the wall and then fly over. It'll be faster. And well, I don't know if Perry needs the help. You see that moment where you see 2 more flashes of Pokeballs. And at this exact moment, like as you like see the flashes of light in the air, you can see that there are now 2 more forms on top of Gyarados. And you can see the sparkling like electricity of her Luxray on the back of her Gyarados at this point in time. Like, it's this moment where you can see that, like, not only is she up there on her Gyarados, but now she's begun to like release members of her team on her Gyarados. And there's another moment.
Smash Bros. Battlefield.
Honestly, yeah, because as that happens, you can then see like the vines of her Tangrowth starting to hang from her Gyarados as well, just starting to like whack at the other Pokemon in the sky.
We see what happened to the Dragonair.
But like, why do I feel like Perry's probably having a good time? And like, this is training.
Just a moving warship.
She is a warship. That is exactly correct. That's the vibe I was going for, Matt.
Oh
her
my
Gyarados
God.
is a flying base for her team.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
that is really.
And you can see. And then there's a moment where you realize you don't see her biggest dragon, or like her scariest dragon at the very least, meaning she's probably not even going all out yet.
Dang. She
Yeah.
don't even need Salad Mance.
Salad Mance, exactly.
Um,
So, but I can go give assistance, so at least we can be done with those
Or
ones up there.
Hang with us. That's fine too.
Either one works
We're
with
just
me.
sneaking.
I want to make sure my talents are being put to good use here. We need to
Okay.
hold out for the Rangers. That means all of us on 100%.
Team, huddle in. Do we think Perry's just fine?
I think she might be okay.
Okay,
it feels fine.
Let's stay together. Then.
Feels fine.
Let's stay together then.
okay.
All right, then let's.
Yeah, I got something for later when you guys get closer to where Perry's at.
Okay, cool. Are we just gonna hear her like maniacally laughing?
Perry has never shown any joy ever, and now all of a sudden she's just
I've
like.
got some choice dialogue options for when you hear her later.
Great.
Oh,
Okay,
shit, I wanna hear
we'll get
it.
to those.
Close
We'll
to
get to
counter
those.
that. Yeah. Okay, so I think then we scratch the plan of having Tanner split off because that doesn't make
let's
any
just
sense now
go.
that we know it is wartime currently. So I think we go around the field
Yep.
and into the power plant as stealthily as possible.
So I will say, Seth, because of your really good like lack of tracking check earlier when you bypassed everything.
My good lack of track.
Yeah, because you
got it,
didn't have to make it. You
Sorry.
obviously succeeded.
That made it seem like I did a really bad job at something.
You
That was
got caught
good.
lacking.
Okay, cool.
No, looking at this
Thanks.
field, it looks like you could probably hug the canyon wall because the grass itself is probably waist height. Go down in the grass and sneak. It'd probably be easiest if you had like as few people crossing as possible in terms of Pokemon. So getting it down to just humans is probably, or like Pokemon that can be carried is like probably key.
Could I? This might hurt, but could I have Richter dig and have his fin up, and I just kind of like hold his fin, and he kind of pulls me while I'm prone on the ground? It'd probably hurt, but
That
you
would
know.
fuck you up, dude. That would fuck
Worse
you up.
than the Wither.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So then maybe
But
not.
for the future, we need to get you like a Kevlar apron,
Like a shield.
so that
yeah.
you can like
Oh,
yeah,
really?
because that'd be fucking sick.
He'll get big enough. He'll just carry me
Yeah,
that way. But yeah,
I mean, strength-wise, he could probably carry you now. He's just very small.
this is true.
Yeah.
Also, I do have dig, so we could just make us a tunnel.
You could just make a tunnel through the wall if you want. That'll take a little bit more time, but you could definitely do it. It'll bypass the stealth check and bypass the danger.
Ooh,
I would add 2 time ticks to your countdown, but like it would bypass danger.
There's a countdown?
Oh yeah,
we
I've
should
been
just go.
countdowning this whole time.
We should just go.
Don't worry, it's
Okay.
not based off discussion time. It's based off of action ticks. It's a mechanic that I got from something else.
Let's tick this action into overdrive.
Yeah.
And crouch
Okay.
by the grass and run.
Okay. Are any of you going to keep any carryable Pokemon out that will detract from your stealth?
Would Richter detract or would he help?
He would detract,
Even with him being
but
a
he
ground
wouldn't
type
make his own roll.
He would or wouldn't?
Would not make his own roll.
He'd roll better than me, though. Nah, it's the same. We both have a D10.
Okay.
We can like hide the light of returning a Pokemon, right?
You can step back into the canyon and do it real quick.
Okay, then I'm gonna.
He's the only one I have out. I'm okay with leaving him out
Okay.
for me.
I'm gonna return Myrtle, and I'm gonna take out Badu and stick him in my pocket.
Okay. Okay. And because it's a pygmy at that small, I will say it does not detract from stealth because that is a
Thank
pocket
you.
Pokemon. Yeah. Okay.
Does Mimikyu give me an inherent disadvantage?
You're not carrying. That's in a bag. That's a totally different thing.
Okay.
That's a totally different thing.
Can Tabasco also fit in a bag?
Not with Mimikyu in it.
He'll come out changed.
They like each other.
He'll come
They
out of
like
that
each
bag
other.
changed.
Come out
But
with
size-wise-
a Riolu hood on. So
Skin your
terrifying.
Pokemon.
Whoa,
What happens?
Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay, I am gonna keep Tabasco out.
Okay. So then, can I
But
get?
he'll just
stealth-
sit on my shoulders or something.
Okay. Everyone who is carrying a Pokemon that I've said will give disadvantage. Can you take a disadvantage to a stealth roll and give me a stealth roll, please? And I will roll for Tanner. Tanner will also be rolling not disadvantaged because Lumus Magus, it does not exist, is incorporeal.
God, I'm so bad at agility.
Tanner rolled dog shit. Holy fuck. Wait, I rolled the wrong die. I gotta re-roll that because I rolled a d20. There's no way Tanner has a 20 in agility. There's no way.
I'm really sorry, guys.
He rolled the same fucking number. He rolled the
crazy.
same goddamn number.
Oh, that's tragic.
I got an 8.
Tanner with a 6.
With the disadvantage, I rolled a 12.
That's cool.
Damn, that you're helping right now. So that's total 8 plus 6, 14 plus 12 is gonna be 28. Okay, Coryne, you're the make or break here. What'd you
no.
get?
5.
Oh no.
5. Okay, 33 when you needed a 40. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys.
So
Okay.
as you guys begin to
I'm not good at
travel
agility.
down the way, you stick to the canyon wall, and you're in about waist high grass right now. And you're like hunkered down. And you've got this thing where Richter is like starting to like just eat a little bit of the dirt, just so that like it's a little bit more of a clear walking path. Nobody's going to trip, sort of thing. And you're starting to move, and you feel this moment where you're all walking. And then there's a moment where like you go like stabilize yourself, where you put your hand on the canyon, and you just hear of just like a slight cascading of rock start to. There's no real rock slide or anything, but it is enough just to echo. Where you see at the edge of the battle, one of the Pokemon heads standing in the field start to turn and look at you. And who rolled the lowest here?
Coryne, I think.
Coryne. There is a moment where you see two Pokemon, both orange furred but different Pokemon, start to turn and look at you. As one, you see a Raichu start to turn and go, right. And you see another, there's a Pokemon that you don't recognize. It's like bright orange with like a bit of curled fur on its head. And you hear it go, pa. And they both look at you at this moment as Raichu and this unknown Pokemon start to spark. And that is where we're going to end today's episode of Unbeatable. Yay!
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah. You remember the Velociraptor scene in the second Jurassic Park movie where they're like trying to go through the field and there's all the Velociraptors? That's about to happen. Goodbye!
Bye.
Thank you for watching this episode of Unbeatable, which was brought to you by you, our patrons, which if you're not a patron, I recommend getting over there because we have an exclusive, super secret Discord. It's not secret. You just have to pay for the Discord and you'll get access to it, where we answer questions that are in our Q&A videos every single month. If you don't, I mean, that's cool too, I guess. Stay unbeatable.
This episode of Unbeatable is brought to you by you guys over on the Patreon. Thank you guys so much for your support. We could not do this show without you. Specifically, thank you so much, Jomi, at our champion patron tier. Thank you so much. We could not do this show without you. Thank you, Jomi.
I am unbeatable. I'll train until I meet my goal. If stakes are high, no unbeatable. Earning every badge, whatever it takes. I'm gonna be the best trainer, you just wait. And I know the road ahead looks like it won't be easy.
I am unbeatable.
Standing by my side, got my friends with me to explore a whole world of possibilities. But no matter what the challenge is, we can overcome it together. Because we are unbeatable, we'll train until we meet our goal. The stakes are high, no we won't fold, because we are unbeatable. We are unbeatable, we'll train until we meet our goal. If stakes are high, no we won't fold, because we are unbeatable.